Greetings once again, Shinobi. Duuz-Diz-Din here again with another Naruto short story. This time, because of a character popularity poll in which who should win but none other than Naruto's father, Minato, and thus we have a story of the yellow flash of the leaf. But what will this story entail when it seemed like we knew everything there was important to know about Minato? Well, join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, so we open up with a panting Minato. It's him, Jiraiya, and two other shinobi facing off against the Jinchuriki, Han and Roshi. Interesting. It's good to actually see some of the Jinchuriki in action when they were still alive, since so many of them ended up dying. So it's the 4 and 5 tale. They both come from Iwagakure, the village hidden in the stone, too. Roshi says as both he and Han prepare 2 bijou bombs. Roshi says, if you really want to fight us, you better bring 9 tails, says Jinchuriki. The younger Jiraiya says, bijou bombs. We're retreating for now, Minato. Minato says, yes, sir. Ooh, jeez. They were going in for the kill, too. I mean, seriously, 1 bijou bomb in and of itself is enough to, take out damn near an entire army. So Naruto, the whorl within the spiral. What does that mean, a whorl? And we have Minato using the Flying Raijin Jutsu, and he teleports his entire team a bit of a distance away so that they don't all end up dead. I do love how Jiraiya was willing to step in for his squad. One member says, did we die? Is this the afterlife? If it is, the afterlife is pretty ass. The other shinobi says, relax, Denkai. Minato's Flying Raijin simply teleported us away. And Jiraiya says that, what a close call. While Minato says, so that's a bijou's power. And she's got one of them inside her too. And he's thinking about Kushina. And then we pick up with Kushina dealing with Kurama. Who, sometimes, nowadays you forget how evil he was back in the day. When he says, hey, new vessel. I don't know if I can do the voice. I can feel it. Your fear and your reservation. No, I can't do it. Do you understand? You are even more shackled than I am. But I can free you, so... And Kushina looks on in fear. Oh, and she jolts awake. She has a very cute room. And she has a picture of the previous Jinchuriki, who was the first Hokage's wife, right? If I remember correctly. Kushina thinks to herself as she wakes up, that same dream and the same old view, the usual 2 keepers, as she steps outside and is greeted by 2 Anbu members. One of them asks what's on today's schedule, and Kushina says, don't I have sealing jutsu training with Minato Namikaze? Kushina then notices a butterfly fluttering about outside. Yeah, dreaming of freedom, right? She then thinks to herself, and the same line over and over, as an Anbu says, you must not go outside the barrier. Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina says, I know. She then thinks, I wonder when I'll ever get to be alone with Minato. And as she meets up with Minato, she shouts, I promise to go all out again today. You pick up things real quick, Minato. And there are still tons of Uzumaki clan sealing jutsus we haven't covered yet, so... Oh, for some reason I thought he was teaching her, but right. She comes from the clan that would be teaching him. Interesting. Minato says nervously, sorry, Kushina. Kushina's taken off guard, and he says, I want to practice a different jutsu elsewhere today. I only came to tell you that. Kushina gets angry, saying, what kind of jutsu? And Minato says, Kushina is obviously visibly annoyed. Kushina asks, and where? Minato says, Training Ground 3. Interesting enough, you see a young Kakashi and Guy meeting up with, I believe that's Obito. This is even before they became shinobi. Interesting. Kushina questions, though, with a scowl, some jutsu you can't tell me about? Minato says nervously, no, it's still unfinished and pretty dangerous. I don't want you to get hurt. Kushina says, I see. Okay, fine. But her hair starts to shift. That's pretty cool visual. And is her hair being able to move because of the 9 tails, or is it something more than that? Minato sees this and goes, huh? I love how all of her hair just starts standing up, with her visibly getting frustrated, and she says, "If you don't want to spend time with me, just say so." Minato says, that's not the case. But then his teammates call out to him, "Hey, Minato!" Minato and Kushina are taken off guard as his team calls out, namely Denkai, "We need to report our mission to Lord Third. Don't you make Team 6 wait." Oh, actually getting more of Minato's original team. Fascinating. And it seems like an all-female shinobi squad comes out saying, "Want to invite Minato afterward? Do you think he'll come?" Minato says, "Oh, that's right." He goes to run off saying, "Sorry, see you next time," to Kushina. Kushina tries to go for him, but she's stopped by Anbu saying, "Hold it." As Minato reunites with his squad, Kushina's held back by Anbu, with one member saying, "Any further and you'll be outside the barrier." Oh, it's the Uzumaki thing. The spiral. A barrier. Interesting. But why is she unable to leave? Because we've seen plenty of Jinchuriki who were able to just kind of do whatever they wanted for the most part. We see Kushina back inside her home? I don't know. Is she walking back and forth or something? Kushina thinks to herself, "We came here as Nine-Tails' vessel. But first and foremost, I had to look up her name. Mito Uzumaki. It's a flashback to a young Kushina talking with her relative? I think they just come from the same clan, but I don't think they're like direct relatives. Mito says, "Find love to fill your vessel with. Then, even if you make the sacrifice and become Nine-Tails' Jinchuriki, you'll be able to be happy." Yeah, because being a Jinchuriki ain't all sunshine and roses. The young Kushina questions, "Love?" Mito says, "Yes, but you won't find love if you just wait around for it." Mito then gets up saying, "Come with me, Kushina." As she steps out, I guess her handlers or her bodyguards they say, "Lady Mito, you should be resting." But the old Lady Mito says, "There's something I want to show this child. It won't take long at all." We actually don't know too much about Mito's relationship with Hashirama. We then pick up with present day where Kushina has bound down the Anbu escorts with her chakra chains or whatever. Her sealing chains, as they say. What the? Kushina's sealing jutsu. Hurry up and undo it. They say I can't unravel it. Her power to bind is getting stronger as she gets older. And as Kushina makes her way outside, she comes to the end of the barrier. She's obviously visibly nervous at first, but she closes her eyes and steps across. But suddenly, Kurama awakens within her, saying, "Yes, that's the spirit. You Uzumaki clan ninja are prideful of your swirly seal's power, but it's used you as much as you've used it, and now you are trapped, drowning in the spiral of time." Jeez, Kurama, dramatic. He says, "I am the only one who can free you from those who did this to you. Don't forget your hatred. Do not trust anyone." But we know Kushina doesn't see it like that. Kushina obviously tries to ignore Kurama, thinking, "But she's got Minato." You then pick up with Minato, who's doing Rasengan training. Because you can see all the craters all over the place. He's training with Jiraiya. That's pretty cool. Jiraiya says it's either a dud or discharges early. It just isn't stable. Minato says it's so difficult to control. Jiraiya grabs Minato's head saying, "I've heard that when you need chakra, it helps to match rotations with the direction of the whirl of your hair." Oh yeah, because your hair swirls out in certain directions. Jiraiya says, "So perhaps that's what." Minato says, "That's a folktale, right?" Jiraiya tells him, "Not necessarily. I always visualize needing chakra in a clockwise direction, and my world twists right." Minato questions, "Okay, what about mine?" And as Jiraiya examines, he gets visibly disturbed. Minato questions, "What's wrong?" Jiraiya tells him, "You've got two worlds, each in one in each direction. That is literally impossible." Minato freaks out like, "What?" Oh, he looks so much like Naruto in that moment. Minato then questions, "So how should I need?" Jiraiya tells him, "I have no idea." He then tells Minato, "Let's take a break." Oh, he's got the ice pops that he always perfectly pulls apart. He says, "Which half do you want?" Minato says, "Huh? doesn't matter. But then he comes to a realization and thinks if both are the same. Minato then hops up as Jiraiya says, well, don't you want an ice pop? I'm gonna eat both. And Minato says, that's the key, Master Jiraiya. I should need chakra equally in both directions. And after Jiraiya has finished both ice pops, we hear Jiraiya say yes, as he thinks, I've also heard having two worlds is a sign of genius. What an incredible grasp of ninjutsu, as we see that Minato has managed to perfect his ultimate technique, the Rasengan. As she says, it has taken form. I shall call it Ice Pop inspired Nimbus Jiraiya Twin Whorl Speed. Oh man. Minato is a goober. I love it. Jiraiya says, that's stupid long. He also thinks, and what poor-tasted naming. Oh, I fear what he was going to call his son. Oh, right. He named his son after part of a ramen bowl. Minato then thinks, says, really? Jiraiya tells him, well, in any case, you've completed the first stage of developing a new jutsu. I have another mission that will cause me to leave you for a bit, but... Oh, is this going to be the mission where he meets up with, Yahiko, Conan, and Nagato? Jiraiya tells him, you should rest while I'm gone. Understand? Minato dissipates the Rasengan as he says, yes, sir. You then see Minato packing up his stuff as he notices Kushina watching him from the trees. He's shocked as he says, huh? What are you doing here, Kushina? It's okay, you're here? Kushina says nervously as she comes out from behind the trees. Lord Third Hokage gave me a special permission to go outside the barrier. Minato says, that's great. I didn't see your guards, But Kushina says, never mind that. Kushina bows, saying, sorry about earlier, that I yelled at you. Minato's taken aback, and then he looks a bit dejected as he says, no, I'm the one who should apologize. I broke my promise. Kushina says, that jutsu just now, you're working hard to hone it? Minato says, oh, you saw that. As Kushina says, yeah. Minato looks away as they both sit down, with him saying, the truth is, I wanted to perfect the jutsu bad enough to even cancel our appointment together. Kushina is taken a bit aback as Minato says, it's a jutsu I'm crafting to protect you. Kushina questions, huh? What do you mean? Minato tells her, we're in the middle of a war, and we don't know when you might be sent into the battlefield. That's why I wanted to give you a new jutsu that is specialized for battles against Biju and Chakra and Jinchuriki. It works in concert with your own Jinchuriki Chakra volume. Right! That's right! Jiraiya did... No, who was it who said it? That the Rasengan was developed while thinking about Biju bombs and stuff like that. Oh man, I forgot about that. Huh. The creation of the Rasengan. But there was more to it. He was developing a new jutsu for Kushina. That's actually kind of cool. Wow, okay. Wow, there's a lot of meaning to this story. Minato then gives a smile saying, I don't want to lose you. And Kushina is obviously shook, but it seems that this little lapse causes Kurama to try to take control. Kushina falls to the ground in pain, and Minato is shocked, saying, what's wrong, Kushina? But then he notices that she's starting to change, as she thinks to himself, this is Bijufication. Uh-oh. And a tail pops out of Kushina that knocks Minato away, causing a massive slash across his midsection. Ooh, man, he skipped 6 times as he hit the ground. Kushina calls out, Minato, as Kurama tells her, I told you not to trust anyone. He'll eventually come to use you. Now undo all my seals, and you'll be freed from pain. Kushina looks back as Kurama says, or shall I possess and kill you? And suddenly a sealed barrier comes up between Kurama and Kushina, as Kurama is shocked as he says, sealing jutsu? By whom? Oh man, and that you could actually see the Nine Tails cloak starting to envelop Kushina. That is pretty badass. Oh man, it looked like she had gotten to about 3 tails too. We see that Minato is trying to, strengthen the seal for Kushina. As Minato says, Kushina, wake up. Yeah, the 5-pronged seal. Kurama thinks, the brat. He's not of the Uzumaki clan, and yet he's augmenting the tetragram seal in his own style. A most powerful shinobi, ranking alongside first Hokage Hashirama. Unbelievable. Kurama then calls out to Minato, "Why is a shinobi of your caliber fussing over this last?" Minato says, "I like strong people stronger than me." And as he hugs Kushina, he says, "That's why I love Kushina. I won't let you have her." Kushina starts to tear up. That's actually really sweet. We then cut back to the flashback with the young Kushina and Mito when she was still the Jinchuriki. Mito brings Kushina to a large tower with the spiral of the Uzumaki clan in the center. Mito tells Kushina, "The Uzumaki clan is now scattered. We have lost everything. A clan whose members won acclaim as shinobi, with proficient life force and sealing jutsu from attuning themselves to swirling air current. Our power became fodder for war, sinking us, and now our very existence is in danger of being sealed by those eddies. But our power brought about stability. This house and the family crest jutsu formula on its floor strengthens the sealing strength of Jinchuriki. Oh, when combined with the one outside. So not just more information about Minato, but more about the Uzumaki clan as a whole? Good stuff. Yeah, the Uzumaki clan is known for having a lot of power and chakra, too. Kushina then questions, "Am I really gonna host Nine Tails?" Mito pats Kushina on the head, saying, "You're a strong child, even to me. You have much more lustrous red hair than me." Aw, Kushina though looks dejected, saying, "Is this what you wanted to show me?" Mito tells her, "No, that is above us," as she directs Kushina to look up. There's a kanji for the heavens at the top of the spiral staircase, at the top of the tower. Kushina questions, "A spiral staircase?" Mito says, "No, it's a raisin, a helical staircase." He says, "Now let's climb it." As they climb the steps, Kushina questions, "A raisin? A resin?" Mito tells her, "A spiral is flat and fixed. The Uzumaki form remains unchanging, but a helix is three-dimensional. Even if it seems like you're just going in circles, your altitude slowly changes, as does the scenery." As they climb the staircase, Kushina questions, "What's at the top?" Mito tells her, "The thing that is inside my vessel." And as they reach the top of the tower, Kushina is amazed, saying, "Wow, is this?" Mito tells her as she sits down, "Whenever it's difficult, I always come here and look up." Kushina questions, "This is the inside of your vessel? Isn't this person your—" Mito tells her, "That's right. Kushina, you may be inside a spiral, but if you have the will to climb, you should be able to find love. And once you do, the spiral shall become a helix." And we see that at the top of the tower is a good view of the Hokage monument. Oh, that's right. Hashirama was long dead at this point. Oh, that's actually really beautiful. Whenever times are tough, she thinks about the person she once loved. Oh, man, now I kind of really want to know about the relationship now. But it really does speak to Naruto as well. That it is love and passion that gives the people of the Uzumaki clan their strength. It really does kind of explain why Naruto is always so capable, because it's just like love and passion. It is caring about someone. It kind of made me tear up a little bit. That's actually really beautiful. And Mito tells her, "It would be nice if you managed to see a different view one day, Kushina." And the young Kushina says, "Yes, ma'am." In the present day, I guess, Kushina is able to take control, release her chakra chains of sealing in order to envelop Kurama and bind him back down. Kushina tells Kurama, "I am capable of resisting too." And as Kurama readies to attack, he cries out for Kushina with anger and vitriol, and much to Minato's shock, Kushina, despite having the Nine-Tails cloak, is actually able to control it. Cool. Minato says, "You've come too." Kushina is shocked, saying, "Minato?" And Minato says, "Let's do this together." But Kurama inside, still preparing to attack, cries out, "You brats!" and starts to rip through Kushina's chakra chains, knocking her to the ground in the mental landscape. And then in the real world, Kushina's more pure chakra cloak becomes the more darker, more devastating, more corrupted version. And then she pierces through Minato's stomach. Jeez, how did Minato survive all of this? The inner Kushina calls out, "Minato, you've done enough. Run. Get away from here." Ooh, it pierced through his side, though. That would still just have ruptured some organs. And this is why Minato does not have a pancreas. Minato, bleeding out and weakened, says, "I won't leave you. I'd never leave you." Kurama calls out, "Release your sealing hand. This one is my human pillar. You are irrelevant." Minato says, "No. You're wrong." Much to the confusion of Kurama, Minato thinks, "I can sense it." Kushina comes to a realization. She remembers Mito's words that she said, "We came here as Nine-Tails' vessel. But first and foremost, find love to fill your vessel with. Then, if you make the sacrifice to become Nine-Tails' Jinchuriki, you'll be able to be happy." Oh, whoa. This is this is the start of the existing within the inner world, as Minato has invaded the inner world of Kushina and Kurama, coming in, bearing down on Kurama with his Rasengan. Oh man, it would seem weird if not for the fact that we've seen people do this multiple times. Not just the inner existences of Minato and Kushina inside of Naruto, but even Sasuke has rolled up inside of Naruto essentially and confronted Kurama, so it's just like, yeah, okay, no, we've seen this happen plenty of times. It's still pretty cool, though, as Minato calls out, "I exist inside Kushina at all times." Kushina then uses that moment to start to bind Kurama even more, holding him in place as Minato comes in and he thinks, "And so, I will never let you have Kushina." And he clashes against Kurama's Bijudama, and as the two attacks clash, everything fades to white. And we pick up inside the hospital. Of course, because Minato got effed up. And he wakes up. Oh, hey, Tsunade. Of course, if anyone was going to heal all the friggin' damage Minato took, it would be Tsunade. So Minato wakes up and is surrounded by Kushina, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. And Kushina gives Minato a massive hug, despite him being in pain. And Tsunade and Jiraiya look on, smiling. I think we pick up sometime later, because Minato has fully recovered. He doesn't have any bandages or anything, so had to be at least like a month later or something. Minato and Kushina are walking, and Kushina says we can finally start training again. "Hey, about the jutsu from that day." Minato questions, "Yeah?" Kushina says, "It looked really similar to the chakra sphere Nine-Tails was trying to use, but how do you come up with it?" Minato says, "I got to see a Jinchuriki's chakra sphere firsthand on the battlefield. I used that as a reference, because I wanted to give you a jutsu that would help you stand up to the other Jinchuriki." He then smiles, saying, "I call the jutsu the Ice Pop inspired Nimish Jiraiya Twin Whirl Sphere." Minato. Kushina gets angry, saying that's awful and way too long. Minato's taken aback, saying, You think so?" Kushina then says, "That jutsu is for me, right? Can I name it then?" Minato says, "I guess so." Kushina then motions for Jiraiya to follow. Not Jiraiya, Minato to follow, saying, "Could you come with me? Another perfect place to think it over." And of course we come to that same tower that Mito took her to. And as they reach the top, Minato says, "Wow, I never knew such a place existed." But then, much to Kushina's shock, potentially that same butterfly she saw at the beginning lands right on Minato's finger. Kushina then tells Minato, "Rasengan." Minato questions, "Huh?" Kushina tells him, "For the name of the new jutsu." Well, oh man, that's a great scene. As Minato says, "Rasengan." Yeah, I like it. As she sees Minato's face right next to the Hokage monument, showing that just like Mito before her, who saw Hashirama as the person who gave her strength, Minato is hers. And the irony of his face being right where it would one day be later. Oh man, I like that. That is actually really sweet. That is a really sweet direction to take this in. I feel like this is absolutely not where anyone thought this story was going to go, but this is absolutely beautiful. Because, I'll be honest, the story of when Minato and Kushina kind of first met and got to know each other, and how she started to fall in love with him was good, but this, like, really showing just how strongly she feels towards him and vice versa, like, damn, Kishimoto really brought his A-game with this one. Because this was a good story. Like, the story of how Minato developed the Rasengan, not to mention it being deeper than all of that he actually developed it for Kushina. Like, damn, man. Get you a lover who will develop one of the most destructive techniques possible to keep you safe. Although, I'll be real, the most ironic thing about this is we've never seen Kushina use a Rasengan. Like, okay, then, man, we better see Kushina use a Rasengan at some point. Man, I love how much reverence we treat the Rasengan with. I won't say it's as iconic as the Kamehameha, but goddamn if it just doesn't have so much that goes into it. No, it's not just that technique that someone can just pop off with. It's just like, no. The amount of time that Naruto put into learning this, the history behind it, the rationale behind it, and now to have this meaning brought to it as well? Dude, that is... damn! It's not just a technique for destruction, it was meant to protect someone you love. Like, damn! That brings so much more meaning to that scene in Naruto the Boruto movie, where we see, Naruto and Boruto kind of sharing that Rasengan, essentially. Or when Minato and Naruto both did the Rasengan during the fight against, what was it? Was it Obito or Madara? It was during that fight. They both did the Rasengan in their Kurama forms. I'm pretty sure it was against Obito. Or shoot, even in the Naruto anime, when Naruto was battling Sasuke, and there's that moment where he's charging up that final Rasengan, and you see all the hands just like almost as if they were adding chakra to it. Just, I'm getting myself emotional. It just really adds to the significance of the friggin' technique. It is the most cliche and cringe thing possible, but it is literally the power of love. I don't know how else to describe it. It is literally the power of love. It's such a lame thing to say, but I don't know how else to describe it. It is love. It is love personified. And this, it just adds to it. Like, oh, man. I'm getting a little too hyped for this. I'm getting a little too hyped. But, I don't know. It just adds to all the greatest hits of the Rasengan. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did this enhance what the Rasengan already meant to you? Or was this not the story you wanted? Because, shoot, even at the beginning of this whole one-shot, I was thinking, a story that would be significant in terms of Minato. I feel like we already knew all of that. But, of course, it would be the one big claim to fame Minato has aside from his, flying Raijutsu? The Rasengan. Like, of course the Rasengan. The development of the Rasengan. Like, yes, that is the story to tell. Damn, Kishimoto came in, like, it felt like he had to have known where he needed to take this. I don't know, maybe he's always had this story in mind. It's hard to tell. It is hard to tell, but great work, Kishimoto. Great work. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. We've had so many Naruto manga over the course of like this time before and during the break for Boruto. I want more. Like, keep doing stuff like this. Have Boruto come back and then still have like other side stories. Man, I'd love it if Kishimoto was just like, you know what, I'm not just gonna do Minato. I'm just gonna go like down the list of the top 10 and just have one shots about all of them. Like, dude, like take as much time as you need with it too. Like, if you have a story, tell a story. It'd be great. It'd be so great. Okay, until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Bye-bye.